Hey, what's up, everyone? Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be breaking down Erling Haaland sprinting, and we're going to start the video right now. This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab.
Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become.
All right, so I was actually just recently recommended to do this breakdown just the other day, and on top of that, I actually had a client that was talking to me about Erling Haaland earlier this week. And so just putting the two together, I'm like, all right, I got to do a breakdown on this guy. And what makes him unique, especially when talking about soccer players, right, or football players, is just his size, right? When we look at Haaland, he is 6'4", 195. And so he's a very, very big dude, very tall guy. And for a striker, too, that's not as common, or a forward, but he has just an amazing amount of speed. And we could see here him accelerating. Obviously, we could see in the video that he is getting, he has a little arrow on him here. But notice how much length he's getting in each one of these steps, even as he's just starting this run, right? I mean, the ball was just recovered, and now they're trying to get a fast break the other way. And we could see that Haaland here immediately starts to really get great knee drive, right? He does a great job of being able to get horizontal force production, which means that he's getting a lot of just forward action within his, first few steps. And that's something too that I would really argue, right, is part of this is mentality, right? Like, we're seeing this happen, and a lot of guys in this position would probably think, oh, I'm out of the play. Just having the belief that he can get back in the play, it is a big thing, right? Like, look at this guy here. He's barely even trying. I mean, he's probably not a defender, right? Probably some of these guys are probably more, forwards and stuff. But regardless, the point being is he is freaking immediately like, oh, I got to get in this play, right? And just look at how much distance, if we compare some of these other guys that are accelerating and the height that they're getting within their legs, right? Like, look at the difference in the toe position. Look at the height of the knee in comparison to Haaland. Look at how high up that knee is. Look at that toe getting more height, right? It's not necessarily all the way up, but it's definitely higher up than here. This one's definitely more down and definitely more to the right, right? His teammate, not bad with the knee height, definitely better with the toe height, right, than this guy, but definitely not getting as much of that horizontal force, much more vertical with his running. Or again, look at like the angle. So what we're looking at is going to be like the shin angle as that foot's coming off the ground. Look at that shin angle here. It's a very, very good shin angle. Okay, having that as close to 30 degrees as possible is really the goal, right? He's probably right at about 30 degrees. Okay, so that's a great shin angle when it comes to acceleration. That ends up being what makes him really unique is we have great leg action, great ability to create horizontal force, and he's doing a good job with the arms. I think his arms could get better. He'd probably be a lot faster if he didn't do as much of like this swimming action, right? Like, you don't want to be pushing your arms out to the side like that. You want to really be pulling a little bit more downward, okay? And so he'd be able to have a little bit faster, I would say, acceleration if he was able to do that a little bit more effectively, or accelerate a little bit more effectively. Okay, but what stands out is when he's running, he does a great job with his foot strike, right? Look at how he gets that toe all the way up in the air and then pulls that leg all the way back down in the ground, and then is able to transition off the ground very, very quickly. So as he's running here, he's getting great height with his foot and a great pull on each one of these steps to make it so now he's able to have that acceleration and even the top end speed that really separates him from people that don't have that same type of sprinting. A lot of this just goes down to the mechanics, right? Like, how are you doing these very fundamental type of movements, right? Great job, and even great height with his foot behind, right? Does a great job of being able to get not only the leg to come up and through and properly strike, but he's also doing a good job with his backside mechanics where he's getting that foot height nice and high and then is driving that knee up and through on each one of those steps to make it so now he can land in a position where he's creating that horizontal force. Okay, I see a lot of people that will end up getting too much of their weight in the back part of their foot as they're accelerating, as they're getting into their top speed, because when they get into that top speed position, now a lot more of their weight kind of shifts back into their foot, right? We want to be able to see you maintain your weight towards the ball of your foot through your acceleration and into your top speed, right? This is just a great body position, right? Again, change of position, gets that head down, and now is just in pure acceleration mode. Pure, look at that height in his foot as he's coming back behind, and look at that foot strike. So textbook in what he's doing in those acceleration phases. And then as he gets to his top speed, he's very natural at maintaining his hips all the way through. He's not allowing those hips to get behind. He's doing a great job of extending out in front and pulling and then striking with that foot behind. And that's where that acceleration truly comes from. And that's where that top speed comes from. Because now, as you continue to build speed, if you can maintain those mechanics, then you're going to just be able to get a lot faster, continue to run at a higher and higher speed, right? Like some of these just fundamentals, again, are things that we just see in the people that are fastest in the world, right? So it's not, brain surgery here. It's not rocket science. It's not something that's super complex. It's just being able to execute your acceleration phase, right? For when it comes to like soccer or a lot of these like field sports, the start is not as much of a phase because you're not in like a set start, right? When you're lining up in a block, there's a set block start. When you're running up for a 40, there's a set 40 start. When you're running up for a 60-yard dash in baseball, that's a set starting position. In soccer, that's not the case, right? You're on the field, all of a sudden there's a change of possession. You could be with your, weight shifted on one foot. You could have your feet, spread apart. You can be running. You could be at a stop. You could have your, back facing the wrong direction. Regardless, there's not a set start, right? But it is about your acceleration and then your ability to use that acceleration and then get into top speed. What I see in a lot of soccer players is a great ability to accelerate, great agility, great quickness, but the inability to transition into top speed. And that's been something I have been talking a lot about lately, and I'm going to continue to talk about because I think it's a very important thing to be able to understand that there is a difference between and a transition from when you are accelerating into when you get to your top speed, and it's very specific in what you want to be doing, and making sure that you're able to do that effectively is really important. Okay, and essentially what it is here we're in acceleration mode, right? You could see head position. You could see there's a difference in how his body is striking the ground. There's a difference in how his force is going to be into the ground because of the head position, because of the position of his spine. And then as he gets to top speed, there's a transition. See how he lifts his head up? See how his spine now comes up? Now that's a transition into top speed. And you have to do that in a way that's going to allow your hips to maintain a good position. Because naturally what happens when your spine's in front or have more of a forward lean, your hips are behind. Well, when you get to top speed, you don't want your hips behind. You want your hips to really be right underneath your foot or right above your foot. You want your foot to be landing right underneath your hips. Okay. And so in order to do that, you have to properly rotate the pelvis or move the pelvis in a way that makes it so now you're landing in the right foot position. And what happens is as you do that, as you start to bring your hips forward, now what is the natural thing that your body kind of wants to do is it wants to shift its weight back because of how your body went from being a very forward leaning position to now all of a sudden being a lot more balanced with your body alignment. And now because it's in a more balanced body alignment, if your weight ends up shifting back too much, now that's going to contribute to longer foot contact times. That's going to contribute to not having a great foot strike. Okay. And so some of these things are maybe things that are a little bit more naturally instilled within some athletes. I would say, that's potentially the case here with Erling Haaland, but it's not the thing with everybody. right? And being able to understand those differences is going to be or could be a key part of your development as an athlete. It can really differentiate you and put you on the right track when it comes to being able to meet your top speed and really fully fulfill everything that you have inside of you when it comes to your overall development. So yeah, if you like the information, click that thumbs up down below, subscribe to the channel. If you guys have any other recommendations, would love to be able to hear that, and would love to hear what your overall thought process is on the breakdown here today, and even, you know, who you think is the fastest soccer player. I'd be interested, or football player, right? In America, we call it soccer, but I know there's probably more people from other countries that are watching this that call it football. And I want to know who you guys think is the fastest guy, right? Who is the fastest guy that I think I should do a breakdown on? I would love to hear your guys' opinion, and also your opinion on if he is, you know, faster than some of these top guys, right? Mbappe, Ronaldo, Christian Bale, those types of guys. So yeah, like the video, leave a comment down below. Would love to hear you guys' recommendations. Thanks for watching. You guys can check out some of the things that we have available in terms of programs in the description. I'm working on making a speed program just for people that are using the Train Heroic app. If you are interested in doing something like that, you can go ahead and check the link, or send me an email. I do have a 28-day free trial that you can check out, but the program that I'm working on is going to be much more in depth, and will help you in improving your speed. So again, if you like the information, click that thumbs up, subscribe, check out some of the things we have in the description. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.